Hey everyone, let's talk about photography. It's more than just taking pictures. It's about capturing moments in time. Think of it as freezing a memory forever. Pretty cool, right? Whether you have a fancy camera or just your phone, you can take amazing photos. It's all about learning a few key things. Don't worry, it's not as hard as you might think. We'll go over everything step by step. From understanding light to composing your shots, I'll give you the tools to become a better photographer. Are you ready? Let's go. Light is everything in photography. Without light, there would be no photographs. It's the fundamental element that brings your images to life. Whether you're shooting indoors or outdoors, the quality and direction of light can make or break your shot. It's what makes your photos pop. Good lighting can highlight details, create depth, and add a sense of drama to your images. It can turn an ordinary scene into something extraordinary. The way light hits your subject can change the entire mood of your picture. Soft, diffused light can create a gentle, flattering look, while hard, direct light can add intensity and contrast. Experimenting with different lighting angles can reveal new dimensions and textures in your subject. Think about the soft, warm glow of sunrise or sunset. These times of day, known as the golden hour, offer a unique quality of light that is highly sought after by photographers. The low angle of the sun creates long shadows and a warm golden hue that can make your photos look magical. This is called golden hour, and it's perfect for taking stunning photos. The light is softer and more diffused, reducing harsh shadows and giving your images a dreamy quality. The light is soft and magical. It's a time when everything seems to glow and colors appear more vibrant. This is why many photographers plan their shoots around the golden hour to capture that perfect shot. On the other hand, midday sun can be harsh and create dark shadows. The overhead light can be unflattering, causing deep shadows under the eyes and nose. It can also wash out colors and make your photos look flat. Try to find some shade if you're shooting during this time. Shade can provide a more even and softer light, which is more flattering for portraits. You can also use reflectors or diffusers to control and soften the light.
Yeah, and don't forget to experiment with different lighting conditions. Whether you're using natural light, studio lights, or a combination of both, playing with light can lead to some amazing results. Try backlighting your subject for a silhouette effect or using side lighting to create depth and texture. You'll be amazed at how it transforms your photos. Different lighting can completely change the look and feel of your images, making them more dynamic and interesting. So don't be afraid to experiment and see what works best for your style and subject.
Composition is how you arrange things in your photo. It's the art of placing elements within your frame to create a visually appealing image. Whether you're capturing a bustling cityscape or a serene landscape, composition is key to making your photos stand out. Think of it like organizing your room. You want everything to look nice and balanced. Just as you wouldn't pile all your belongings in one corner, you shouldn't crowd all the elements in one part of your photo. Balance is essential to create harmony and draw the viewer's eye across the entire image. One simple rule is the rule of thirds. This guideline helps you place your subject in a way that is naturally pleasing to the eye. It's a fundamental principle that can transform your photography from ordinary to extraordinary. Imagine your photo divided into 9 equal squares. This grid helps you see where to place your subject and other important elements. By aligning your subject with these lines or intersections, you create a more dynamic and engaging photo. Place your subject along these lines or at the points where they intersect. This technique draws the viewer's attention to the most important parts of your photo, making it more compelling and interesting. This creates a more interesting and pleasing composition. A well-composed photo can evoke emotions, tell a story, and capture the essence of the moment. It's not just about what you see, but how you present it. Don't be afraid to experiment. Photography is an art, and like any art form, it thrives on creativity and innovation. Try different angles, perspectives, and compositions to see what works best for your subject. Try different angles and perspectives. A low-angle shot can make your subject appear more powerful, while a high-angle shot can give a sense of vulnerability. Experimenting with these techniques can add depth and interest to your photos. Sometimes, breaking the rules can lead to the most creative shots. While guidelines like the rule of thirds are helpful, don't be afraid to step outside the box. Some of the most iconic photos come from photographers who dare to defy conventions.
Exactly. The beauty of photography lies in its endless possibilities. Each shot is an opportunity to see the world from a new perspective. And remember, the more you practice, the better you'll get at finding that perfect composition. Practice makes perfect, and with each photo you take, you'll develop a keener eye for detail and a deeper understanding of what makes a great shot.
Cameras can seem intimidating with all those buttons and dials. When you first pick up a camera, it might feel like you're staring at a spaceship's control panel. All those symbols, numbers, and settings can be overwhelming. But don't worry. You don't need to know everything to start taking great photos. Photography is a journey, and you can start simple. The key is to get comfortable with the basics first. The most important settings are shutter speed, which controls how long your camera's sensor is exposed to light. A fast shutter speed can freeze action, while a slow shutter speed can create motion blur. Aperture, which determines the size of the lens opening and affects the depth of field. A wide aperture creates a blurry background, while a narrow aperture keeps more of the scene in focus. And ISO, which adjusts the camera's sensitivity to light. Higher ISO settings are useful in low light, but can introduce noise to your photos. These three work together to control how much light enters your camera and affects your photo's brightness. Understanding the relationship between shutter speed, aperture, and ISO is crucial for mastering exposure. Start by using the automatic mode on your camera. This mode adjusts the settings for you, allowing you to focus on composition and framing. It will help you get comfortable with the basics. As you shoot more, you'll start to notice patterns and preferences in your photography style. As you gain confidence, you can start experimenting with manual mode for more creative control. Manual mode allows you to adjust each setting individually, giving you the freedom to achieve the exact look you want.
And don't be afraid to make mistakes. Every photographer, no matter how experienced, has taken plenty of bad photos. It's through these mistakes that you learn and improve. It's all part of the learning process. The more you practice, the more you'll understand how different settings affect your photos. You'll get better with each shot you take. Over time, you'll develop an intuitive sense for the right settings in different situations. So keep shooting, keep experimenting, and most importantly, have fun with your photography journey.
Everyone makes mistakes when they're learning photography. That's okay. It's part of the process.
One common mistake is blurry photos. This can happen if your shutter speed is too slow, especially when photographing moving subjects.
Try using a faster shutter speed or a tripod to keep your camera steady.
Another mistake is not paying attention to the background. Make sure there are no distracting elements behind your subject that take away from the main focus of your photo.
Sharpness is crucial for a great photo. It makes your subject stand out and look clear and crisp.
Most cameras have autofocus, which automatically finds the main subject in your frame. But sometimes you might want to manually focus to choose a specific point of interest.
Experiment with different focus points to see what looks best. You can also use a technique called focus stacking to get everything in sharp focus, even in landscapes.
Don't be afraid to move around and try different angles when taking photos. Sometimes a slight change in perspective can make a huge difference.
Instead of always shooting from eye level, try crouching down low or finding a higher vantage point. This can add a unique and dynamic feel to your images.
Remember, photography is about creativity. Experiment with different angles and see what happens.
Section 8. Telling a story, capturing emotion. Photography is more than just technical skills. It's about capturing emotions and telling stories through your images.
Think about what you want to convey with your photo. What message are you trying to send?
Use your composition, lighting, and subject matter to evoke emotion in the viewer. Don't be afraid to experiment with different techniques and styles to find your unique voice as a photographer. Section 9. Beyond the click basic editing tips. Editing is like adding the finishing touches to your masterpiece. It can enhance your photos and bring out their full potential.
Don't worry, you don't need to be a Photoshop expert. There are many user-friendly editing apps available that can help you adjust brightness, contrast, colors, and more.
Remember, the goal of editing is to enhance, not manipulate. Keep your edits subtle and natural looking. Section 10. Practice makes progress. Keep shooting. The best way to improve your photography is to practice consistently. The more you shoot, the better you'll become at understanding light, composition, and your camera settings.
Don't be afraid to experiment and make mistakes. That's how you learn and grow as a photographer. Challenge yourself to try new things and step outside of your comfort zone.
Remember, photography is a journey, not a destination. Enjoy the process and celebrate your progress along the way. Section 11. Never stop exploring. Photography's adventure. Congratulations! You've taken your first steps into the exciting world of photography. Remember, this is just the beginning of your journey. There's so much more to learn and explore.
Experiment with different genres of photography, like portraits, landscapes, or street photography. Find what inspires you and pursue it with passion.
Never stop learning and pushing your creative boundaries. Photography is an adventure that never ends, so grab your camera, get out there, and start capturing the world through your lens.